let's welcome today's first guest, Anthony Saccaro, a good friend, a perennial friend, I should say, of the income generation, and a good buddy, of course, of mine and Jeff's. Anthony is a lawyer, but we won't hold that against him. And he's also president of Providence Financial, a retirement income store located in LA. He's also host of the Providence Financial radio show. Anthony, it's great to have you back with us here on the Income Generation, as usual.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So, Anthony, it's always good for a consumer to evaluate at least 3 fiduciaries when looking for the right financial advisor. Why is it important for a consumer to work with a fiduciary?
It's actually not just important, it's actually critical. There's 2 different legal standards out there. You've got what's called a suitability standard and a fiduciary standard. The suitability standard means that if there's 10 investments out there and all of them are suitable, then the advisor can recommend the one that pays the most commission. Whereas if you have a fiduciary standard and there's 10 suitable investments, if you must choose the best investment for that client, even if all of them are suitable. So from a legal standpoint, you want to work with someone that must legally have your best interest in mind so that they are 100% acting in your best interest. And if they don't, then you have legal recourse.
That was one of the best explanations ever. So basically the big difference is commission-based salesperson versus an actual professional is what it sounds like to me, Anthony.
Well, that's exactly right. So if you're talking about a suitability standard, a majority of these advisors are getting paid commission from the stuff that they recommend. And again, as long as something is suitable, it could be the worst of the suitable options that pays the highest commission, and they are legally allowed to recommend that to you. And if you sue them, as long as it was suitable, then you lose. But if you're dealing with a fiduciary and you can prove that there was one option better than the option that they recommended and you sue them, then you win. So that's the significant difference. Legally, they have to act in your best interest in a fiduciary capacity, but in a suitability standard, they do not. So very critical to differentiate between the 2.
Anthony, thanks so much for being back with us on the Income Generation. Right now, it's time to welcome our next guest, Dee Carter, a longtime friend of the Income Generation and a real good pal to myself and Jeff also. Dee is president of Carter Financial Group, a retirement income store in Midland, Texas. He's also Amazon best-selling author of the book, It's Now or Never. Dee, now that all y'all have thawed out in Western Texas, thanks for being back with us. It's great to see you.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. We did have a little bit of Connecticut weather down here for a while. It's good to be with you guys.
So, Dee, a minute ago, Dave was talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly on annuities. What's good about annuities?
Well, the best thing about annuities is they're always going to be there, Jeff. Once you put your money into an annuity, depending on the company, and obviously we do a lot of research on our companies, that money's going to be there for you down the road, regardless of what happens. It's the bottom floor. It's the basis of what your income planning should be on a guaranteed type basis. So you're going to have guaranteed of your income regardless of what happens. 10-year certain and continuous in most cases. So your income is always going to be there. That portion of your income is set up and is fixed for you, and you're going to have it.
Dee, people love those guarantees, don't they? Especially on the income side.
They really do. They look forward to that. In fact, when they become to start moving away from performance into purpose-driven type investing, that's the main reason they're going there. Their purpose is to have an income. I have clients tell me every day, the one thing I want to do is like Will Rogers once said, hey, I'm not so concerned about the return on my money as the return of my money. And that's what the good side of the annuity will do for you.
Dee, thanks so much once again for being back with us here. We really appreciate it. It's time to welcome our last guest, Michael Stewart, founder of Crystal Lake Tax and Financial, a retirement income store located just outside Chicago. Michael's also the co-author of the book, Purpose-Based Investing, as well as host of the Retirement Success Blueprint podcast. Michael, thanks so much for being here with us today.
Appreciate you having me on, guys.
So, Michael, why is value investing more difficult than growth investing?
Yeah, the biggest challenge, when you look at growth investing, it's really more about momentum and trying to pick the next winners and what's working in the market or not. That's really just more timing. When you talk about value investing or investing for good dividend income paying stocks, you have to be careful that, are they a value for a reason? Are they down because basically they're just not good businesses right now with what's going on in the world? Or are they down for the wrong reasons And then instead of being a value trap, they actually present a lot of value, not only for good, solid income from dividends, but some potential future capital appreciation as well.
Michael, as usual, it's been great having you. You're a great friend of the income generation, as well as a good friend of mine and Jeff's. Michael, thanks so much for being with us today on the show.